Hello, I'm Neon Geode, and today I am back at my mega-sized Happy Ghast and Ghastling. So I was actually working on an entirely different project, but then when Mojang started putting out previews for the summer drop, I saw they were making improvements to leads, including leading mobs and boats directly to the Happy Ghast. So if you remember when we left off, I had added an entrance to the Happy Guest on the backside of one of the tentacles, but I wasn't really happy with that. So today I'm going to be working on a project to improve that. I'm going to need to grab some shulker boxes to help me out with that here first. But yeah, like I said, I wasn't really happy. I added an entrance to the Happy Guest on the backside of one of the tentacles. But I think it's going to really be way too much of a pain to actually use when building on the creative island. And I'd also like to have a staging area for builds closer to the ground level. So now I'm grabbing some buckets and I'm going to be grabbing some powdered snow here, and I'll let you know what that is all about in just a minute. But I was really thinking I could do something similar to the previews. So I was asking myself, should I lead a boat to the happy guest or a mob, or maybe even a boat with a mob in it? I think something like the sniffer could have been really cute, but I decided to just keep it simple and just go with the standard oak boat. I'm going to need to grab some different kind of brown materials here, some brown terracotta, some brown concrete, and some mushroom blocks to represent the leads. But yeah, I decided to keep it simple, go with the standard oak boat, and then kind of make it like the movie where it's a gas balloon. Except obviously this is going to be the happy gas. Um, and so the boat makes a lot of sense because a boat is literally a gondola, which they call, the basket for a hot air balloon or other airship. Um, and so that makes a ton of sense. And then, yeah, getting back to the what you saw with the buckets and the powdered snow and the ice that you saw me picking up there. So for the entrance, I'm going to be creating an invisible bubble column in the center of the boat, and that's going to kind of represent the hot air rising for my gas balloon. And this kind of invisible bubble column, it's something we can do in Bedrock Edition. That's kind of a topic for a whole nother discussion, like why do I play on Bedrock instead of Java? But for now, just kind of take it as a given. And it means here that for this project, we have a fun little glitch to take advantage of. Yeah, so that's a happy gas balloon. And let's get to it. Yeah, and here, kind of stacking up with the concrete, I really do love the view of my world from up here. It's always great to like get up above it. That's why I like having all the maps and stuff too, to kind of give that view of the world and see the progress. It's really a lot of fun. Yeah, but like I said, I had been working on an entirely different project, kind of stopped that in the middle because it's like, oh, well, let's go back to the Happy Guest and let's clean some of that up and let's do a little there. And yeah, I will need to get back to that other project though. Yeah, I've been pretty busy here with a lot of other stuff in my life, but had other stuff on my mind. Um, sometimes it's hard to find the motivation to keep playing Minecraft. Sometimes it's something like starting recording videos here and putting those out there is kind of hard to keep up with that. But I'm really going to do my best to try to keep up with that. And I'm kind of hoping that was part of the reason why I wanted to start creating these videos, was just to give me some motivation to keep playing and keep making progress on my world, have a reason to do that, and kind of something I was working towards. But I'm not quite sure when my next video is going to be. Um, like I said, I still need to wrap up that project I started working on, and I have my birthday coming up. I am going to be out of town this weekend. And I have a full-time job and everything, but hopefully get something out with this other project as soon as I can. Yeah, so you can kind of see here, this is the boat, the gondola for the hot air balloon, if you will. Kind of making it out of oak planks and then spruce planks for the detailing here. And then kind of the trickiest little part here is doing the boat paddles and trying to make that look halfway decent out of blocks. So a little tricky here, but I think it'll look good enough. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, like that's not bad at all. It's a bit dark, so I think I need to add some torches here to light it up. And then it won't look quite as weird being kind of hidden in the shadows under the ghast itself. Yeah, but kind of next step here, gonna add add the base for the bubble columns in the center. They're kind of the standard bubble columns made out of soul sand and then water above it, where you go in the water stream and it pushes you up. But like I said, there's kind of this glitch in Bedrock Edition where we're able to essentially get rid of all the water and just be left with nothing but bubbles. So we will get back to that. But first is just kind of like building out the leads here. I placed the boat very, very carefully in a very precise position, very precise height down from the bottom of the happy gas, very precisely placed back where I can kind of do this like, three up, and then one to the left, one forward, and it just ends up with a very clean line. I had thought about some other stuff. I tried like, okay, can I make the leads out of leads? Could I maybe make the um, leads out of like fence posts because that'd be a little thinner, but just nothing quite looked right to me. And so this was kind of the best I came up with. And then, yeah, we got like four of these. And then on the back, it's a little different angle. I wanted to kind of do it where, if you actually like seen the videos of it, the boat or the mob leaded to the happy gas ends up getting kind of dragged around where it kind of trails just a little behind the happy gas itself. So I kind of went for the same thing here. Yeah, and I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Kind of one thing here, kind of realized once I was looking at the videos or the previews, I guess I was actually playing around with the preview for it, and kind of saw that actually this kind of yellow detail on the happy gas harness itself was more of like a mix of yellow and orange, and so are some of the details on kind of the part of the harness where it's leading it to the boat. That's what you see here. And so, yeah, I went back, kind of replaced some of the yellow with orange. And then all of this, yeah, it's kind of made out of those three shades of brown. Unlike with the harness on the gas itself, I'd gone with different shades of terracotta, but here I went brown terracotta, brown concrete, and then brown mushroom blocks for the last bit. And yeah, I'm kind of happy with, they're kind of how that turned out. Yeah, so I do have to say, like, yeah, making these videos is definitely a learning process for me. It was definitely it was quicker and easier for me to do something like the spring drop exploration video where I just hit record and play Minecraft for 30 minutes or an hour. and do a little bit of editing and do some commentary along with it and just turn it into a video. So something like that was like really quick to get out the door. Like I feel like I maybe need to do some more stuff like that. Um, but yeah, like obviously it doesn't work very well at all for these big building projects where I am, playing Minecraft for, several hours or maybe even like making the big guesses like 10 or 12 hours. And it doesn't work for that, right? Definitely need to do a lot of video editing for something like that after the fact, hours of footage. Um, so yeah, it's definitely a learning process. Even with something like the spring drop exploration video, it's a process to help me learn how to keep talking during those videos. Like I'm not a natural at talking. Like even now, I'm talking based on a bunch of notes I'd created for myself. And so it's like a process for me to learn how to keep talking. Um, and kind of one of the reasons I started doing these videos in the first place is that, like, yeah, I want to get better at that. And so that's the way to do it. I kind of want to show off my world anyway. I think we got a lot of good, interesting, fun projects that I can do in my world. So, yeah, that's that. Kind of see here making the bubble column, put down some glass here and some buttons to keep the water contained. um, Use the ice as kind of a trick rather than having to do a bunch of water buckets to get all the water filled out. You can just put the ice blocks and then go back through and break them, and they turn into water. And then this is kind of the glitches with powdered snow. You replace all the water with powdered snow. You end up with kind of a powder snow bubble column. And again, this only, to my knowledge, it only works in Bedrock. Um, you can correct me if I'm wrong if somebody knows better. But yeah, once we have kind of the bubbles, powdered snow in place, and I think there's a lot of glitches with powdered snow. It's kind of a glitchy block in Minecraft. But once we have that in place, we can just kind of break all of the powdered snow here. I'm going to do it with a water bucket here, and you can see kind of the bubbles peeking up through the powdered snow. But it's really easy with a bucket here. I can just take the water. I can place it here. It's going to kind of destroy all of the powdered snow. I'm um, left with kind of this bubble column that has no actual water source blocks in it except for this very top one. And then yeah, once all the snow is gone, I can just take that water back, and we're left with just bubbles, and that's it. And yeah, it is, like I said, kind of this cool little glitch. Gives me the gas balloon. Kind of fun thing here. I can just hop in. Works just like the water column with regular water, but without any of the water. And then, yeah, kind of going to build this second bubble column. This one won't go all the way up to the happy gas base itself because their tentacle kind of gets in the way there. So it just goes like halfway up, but I'm kind of putting it there for symmetry's sake. Yeah, so like I said, kind of a learning process here for this video. I kind of just kind of sat down, played some Minecraft, hit record, recorded the gameplay, and didn't provide any commentary at all when I was playing through it. So I decided, hey, I'll just, I wasn't really feeling chatty that day. I didn't feel like recording the commentary that day. So like, hey, let's hit play. Let's do some commentary afterwards and kind of see how it turns out. Like, what's the worst that can happen here? Now, obviously, these bubble columns are kind of fun. Still gotta nail the entrance a little better there, but it's definitely going to be a lot more convenient entry into the ghast itself. But there's definitely a lot more involved in a video like this, kind of cutting the portions of footage. And then having to spend time afterwards providing commentary, and I'm gonna have to see how I like it. But yeah, that's the Happy Gas Balloon. Now I'll be able to use the boat to stage materials and shulker boxes for projects on my creative island and have easier access to the ghast itself for bulk storage. I hope you enjoyed watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.